Hey, we got this email. Kat and Jethro, just a quick thank you. I heard you mention quince on your show a while back and decided to order a few things for my mom for Mother's Day.
Aww.
She absolutely loved them and has already asked me where I found the brand. So thanks for accidentally making me look much more of a thoughtful daughter than I probably am. And yeah, we love quince. I'm wearing my quince shorts right now.
And making our way into summer, those shorts are going to be an essential for you.
Quince has beautiful everyday pieces like 100% European linen pants, dresses, and tops with styles starting at $32.
And the really important thing for us is Quince works directly with ethical factories. So you're paying for quality, not for a brand name.
And everything at Quince is priced 50 to 80% less than similar products.
I have a set of Quince linen pillowcases on my bed right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it makes me feel like such a fancy lady.
It's time for a new summer wardrobe. Elevate your wardrobe. Go to quince.com/oddities for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns.
Now available in Canada, too.
Woo.
That's QUINCE.com/oddities for free shipping and 365-day returns.
Quince.com/oddities.
LinkedIn is pretty amazing at helping you grow your small business. We cannot stop your new clients from emailing you at 3 a.m. We can help you sell, market, and hire in one place. We cannot help you be in 3 places at once. And while we can't help you organize your calendar, LinkedIn can help you land more clients so you have a calendar to organize. Grow your small business on LinkedIn. Learn more at linkedin.com/smallbusiness.
The Box of Oddities.
We always read every email that we get, and sometimes it's a bit of a process. I'll wait a few days, and pretty soon I'll have hundreds of emails that haven't been opened yet, and I'll go through them. And we do read every one of them. What we don't do, or at least me, I don't read the reviews, because I take it too personally. I mean, this is something that both of us love very much. Box of Oddities is such a big part of our life. You guys are such a big part of our life. We really feel like it's a family. And so when somebody writes a negative comment, it tends to upset me more than it should.
Yeah.
And so I don't look anymore. But this one came across my field of vision, and I thought I'd share it with you. Okay. It says, I wanted to like this podcast, but all they talk about is weird stuff. 1 star. Okay.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Okay. The name of it is The Box of Oddities.
Well, what should we be talking about? I don't understand.
I don't know.
Oh, I love it.
I don't get it. I love it when people think that you and I and the members of the Freak family are just weird, because that's true. And we embrace it here.
Every once in a while, I will come across a negative review, and I like to make a little meme about it, because some of our negative reviews are valid. You know, we're not for everyone.
No.
Sometimes we curse. People think that I talk too much or have opinions, which I shouldn't.
Well, you're a woman.
I know. Our subject matter might not be for everyone, and that's fine. But some of the reviews that we've received are just that out of left field delightful. Like one time someone said, I hate happy podcasters.
Yeah, right.
Delightful. All day long, give me that negative review.
Okay.
I am thrilled. Thank you.
That's funny. Anyway, we appreciate all the positive ones that you guys give us. And if you do, it helps us grow the podcast.
One time we got a 1-star review that just said, ew.
Okay. That's probably
No,
valid.
you're probably right. You're probably right. But yes, we thank you for your positive reviews.
Yeah.
Sometimes we thank you for your negative ones. I don't know.
In the spring of 1907, a family gathered for a funeral and discovered that they were missing, well, the deceased person.
Oh, no.
I came across this information while researching the Death Coach story.
Yeah.
And railroad history and stuff like that.
Railroad
history. The minister had arrived for this funeral. Relatives had traveled considerable distances. The grave had been prepared, yet the coffin that was supposed to be at the center of the service was sitting hundreds of miles away in a railroad station. Nobody had stolen it. There had been no wreck. A station employee had simply failed to move it to the right train. For several days, the body remained in a baggage room while railroad officials exchanged telegrams and searched records trying to determine where it had gone. As strange as that sounds, the story was not particularly unusual for this time. For about 70 years, America's railroads carried an enormous amount of freight, of course, coal, livestock, furniture, machinery, mail, produce, circus equipment, and human remains. If somebody died far from home during the late 19th century, there was a good chance the last journey they would take would occur inside a baggage car attached to a passenger train. And eventually, funeral directors even advertised shipping services. Railroads published transportation rates for living people and also dead people. Coffins crossed the country every day, and most of them arrived without incident, but some did not. Found a newspaper article from 1885, and it reports that 2 bodies moving through Chicago had become mixed up during transportation. And somewhere amid the transfers between all of those rail lines, paperwork was confusing and the wrong remains were sent to the wrong family.
You know, there are a lot of circumstances where people wouldn't even notice. I mean, if it's already in a coffin, you know?
Yeah, and especially if it's been traveling for a while. This would be pre-embalming days. Chicago was particularly vulnerable to these types of mistakes. Nearly every major railroad in the nation passed through Chicago. Freight cars arrived by the thousands, and so did the dead. The error was not discovered until the coffins reached their destinations. That must have been a very unpleasant surprise. The family waiting to bury a loved one finds somebody else staring up out of the box. The newspaper reported the event was, this is what they called it. I love this. This is so bureaucratic. The newspaper reported it as a, quote, transportation mishap. To the families involved, it was something considerably more personal, I'm guessing. Such stories appeared often enough that they formed their own strange kind of category in the news. Newspapers would list remains that have been lost. Coffins were delayed by storms, bodies missed connections, identification tags detached during transit, remains occasionally arrived in the wrong city or the wrong station or the wrong destination entirely. You know, when your baggage trunk disappears, that's inconvenient. But when Uncle Ralph disappears, that's a little more problematic. Especially, again, pre-embalming, some guy nailed up in a crate in a baggage storage room for 3 weeks, probably not going to age well.
Yeah.
Death does not wait patiently for transportation schedules. So before the Civil War, long-distance shipment of bodies was often impossible. A corpse begins changing almost immediately after death, of course, especially in summer heat. Within hours, bacteria already present inside the body begins breaking down tissue, and gases accumulate, fluids are released, odors developed. In the warm weather, the process is accelerated dramatically.
Sure.
So a body traveling hundreds of miles by wagon or riverboat or rail in the summer presented obvious challenges. Families occasionally resorted to packing the deceased in barrels filled with alcohol, charcoal,
Gut rot.
ice, or chemical preservatives in a desperate attempt to slow decomposition. And yeah, you're right. I talked about that. Bodies that were transported in barrels that were filled with high-proof alcohol in a previous episode. And according to reports and stories from that time, not every shipper was entirely honest after delivering the deceased. Some reportedly sold the used barrels, not disclosing the previous contents.
Yeah.
Worse yet, they sold the alcohol at a steep discount to taverns and saloons rather than disposing of it. And the claim is that this practice gave rise to the term rot gut whiskey.
Oh, rot gut, not gut rot. You know I'm dyslexic. Let's move on.
Regardless of the way they shipped the bodies in the pre-embalming days, the results were often imperfect. Newspaper accounts from the 19th century, in the mid-19th century, would describe corpses arriving in conditions that made viewing impossible. And to your point, oftentimes there would be no examining of the body, so if it was the wrong body, they wouldn't know. Funeral services were abbreviated in these types of situations. Coffins remained closed, and in some cases, burial took place immediately upon arrival. And then the Civil War changed everything. Because of the enormous number of soldiers dying far from home, it created a demand for preservation methods that had never existed before. And embalmers would actually follow armies into the field, waiting to go pick up the dead.
Yeah.
Families who could afford the expense paid to have the bodies embalmed and then shipped home by rail. And even then, the process was not always pleasant.
Oh, I can't imagine.
A body might be embalmed, sealed inside even a metal-lined coffin, loaded onto a baggage car, unloaded at a transfer station, stored overnight, reloaded onto another train, and repeated through several states before reaching its destination. And there is documentation that railroad employees who handled these shipments occasionally complained about leaking coffins.
Oh, leaking bodies.
Yeah, damaged seals or the unmistakable odor that sometimes escaped, despite every effort to contain it.
There is nothing that I've ever experienced that could be confused with that smell.
Yeah, unfortunately, you have actually had that smell.
I didn't smell like that.
No, not you personally.
Thank goodness.
You've experienced that smell. Do you want to tell that story or no? You don't have to go into details about who or what, but...
Okay, yes. I have helped clean out the living space of a person who had passed away and was not discovered for almost 2 weeks. And so going into that space, there was an overwhelming smell of decomposition, and the carpet that the body had been on was saturated, let's say.
Yeah.
And
the odor soaks into everything.
It clings. And so I had to move a bunch of the stuff from that apartment, and I was driving with all of these things in my car, and I got stuck in a parade. And I fucking hate parades. And I had all the windows down.
Yeah, you're holding your breath.
Yep.
The smell of decomp.
Yep.
Saturating everything in the car, including you.
Yep.
And then you end up getting caught in a parade.
Yeah. Yeah. It was not my finest day.
It's hilarious, though.
I'm glad you like it.
Thanks for sharing it. I mean, I'm sorry that you had to go and deal with that, but that was a hilarious outcome.
I'm so glad you enjoyed it.
Oh, yes. One Midwest newspaper described a body stranded by winter weather while relatives gathered repeatedly at the depot awaiting its arrival. Snow had blocked the route, and trains could not get through. The funeral was postponed while the deceased remained somewhere along the railroad line. They weren't sure. Another newspaper told of a coffin that arrived at its destination only after mourners had abandoned hope of conducting services with the body present. It spent weeks moving through a transportation system, struggling against storms and delays and all. I mean, these were rough times. And maybe the strangest part of those accounts is the tone. The articles they don't seem sensational. They are more like reports about freight shipments.
Jeez.
A body delayed, a coffin misdirected, remains were being held pending transfer. And like I said, it happened so often. There was a special section in some newspapers just to locate human remains. The language seems to reflect the reality of that particular era. Railroads handled so many funeral shipments that employees developed routines around them. Human remains were part of the daily flow of commerce. The familiarity occasionally produced situations that seem almost surreal today. A station agent might discover an unclaimed coffin sitting in a storage room because a shipping tag had come off somewhere along the route. So now they have no identifying information, just a body in a box, and they got to try to figure out who it is and where it's going. Meanwhile, the deceased is all caught up in this bureaucratic limbo.
Yeah.
And historians still encounter examples where documentation shows that remains entered the transportation network, but provide no clear evidence that they ever arrived at their ultimate destination.
That reminds me of that Eagles song.
Hotel California?
No, those shoes. Womp, womp, womp.
Today, we tend to think of transportation as precise. We take it for granted. I mean, I get mad if Amazon leaves my package at the neighbor's door by mistake, and I have to go over and get it. Railroad workers of the 19th century relied on tags and manifests and handwritten records, telegraph operators. Most of the time, it was enough. But every now and then, and fairly often, it was not.
Oof.
And when it wasn't, the result could be a coffin waiting in the wrong city, or a family waiting at the wrong station, or a dead man taking an unexpected detour on his final trip home. Long after the passengers had left the platform and the freight had been unloaded, a baggage room lamp might still be burning over a pine shipping crate containing somebody's husband or daughter or brother. And somewhere in the middle of that machinery and paperwork was a person whose journey was supposed to be finished, but instead, even after death, waiting for a train. My sources for this come from Transportation of the Dead, The Casket and Sunnyside, which is a funeral trade publication between the 1870s and 1890s. The Undertaker's Manual by Auguste Renault, and this was from 1880, and the Chicago Tribune Archives.
I wonder if there are train stations that still have like a back room where things get put. And maybe there's still a coffin in there somewhere.
You know, that would not be surprising. Maybe in some abandoned train station somewhere in the middle of what was a frontier area, 1860s or whatever. It got lost and they closed the train station and it's still in there. That'd be really cool. I'd buy that train station and fix it up. And I'd make a coffee table out of the coffin.
Wow.
That would be nice.
Coffin table?
A coffin table.
I love the little story that you've just created.
Can't you see me just sitting out there in the desert sun in a lawn chair with a beer and a koozie sitting on top of that old coffin watching a train go by?
Wait, is it a coffee table or?
Well, I'd put wheels on it.
Oh, okay.
So I could move it around.
Sure.
And I would take it out on my patio when I sat outside. And
wow. I
would sit there and watch the buzzards swarming above.
Quite the story.
And in the distance, a dog barks. And I can hear the river people calling for my death.
The river people?
Especially Lothar. He's an asshole.
Lothar of the hill people.
But at this point, they had moved down to the river.
Sure.
All right, I'm done. Hey, we got this email. Kat and Jethro, just a quick thank you. I heard you mention quince on your show a while back and decided to order a few things for my mom for Mother's Day.
Aww.
She absolutely loved them and has already asked me where I found the brand. So thanks for accidentally making me look much more of a thoughtful daughter than I probably am. And yeah, we love quince. I'm wearing my quince shorts right now.
And making our way into summer, those shorts are going to be an essential for you.
Quince has beautiful everyday pieces like 100% European linen pants, dresses, and tops with styles starting at $32.
And the really important thing for us is Quince works directly with ethical factories. So you're paying for quality, not for a brand name.
And everything at Quince is priced 50 to 80% less than similar products.
I have a set of Quince linen pillowcases on my bed right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it makes me feel like such a fancy lady.
It's time for a new summer wardrobe. Elevate your wardrobe. Go to Quince.com/oddities for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns.
Now available in Canada, too.
Woo.
That's QUINCE.com/oddities for free shipping and 365-day returns.
Quince.com/oddities.
Study and play come together on a Windows 11 PC. And for a limited time, college students get the best of both worlds. Get the Unreal College Deal. Everything you need to study and play with select Windows 11 PCs. Eligible students get a year of Microsoft 365 Premium and a year of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with a custom color Xbox wireless controller. Learn more at windows.com/student offer. While supplies last. Ends June 30th. Terms at aka.ms/collegepc.
And now, that thing in the middle.
The year was 1838. General Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna, the president of Mexico, was in the midst of a battle when suddenly, boom, his ankle was blown off by a cannonball. One leg down. Did Santa Anna succumb to his sorrow and defeat? Oh no, my friends. Instead, he did something that can only be described as legendary. He ordered a full military burial for his leg. Picture the scene: soldiers solemnly marching, flags flying at half-mast, a bugler playing a mournful tune, and a leg-shaped casket draped in the most distinguished military fashion. Oh, General Santa Anna, you certainly knew how to march to a different beat. But who am I to judge? After all, it takes a special kind of person to turn a tragedy into a military spectacle.
El 2026 FIFA World Cup Meal llegó a McDonald's con 9 vasos legendarios. En el lineup tenemos Christian Cipitan Pulisic, David Beckham, Lamine The Dream Yamal, Ronaldinho El Mago, Monsieur Titi Henry, Son Salih Heung-min, Alfonso Fonsi Davis, Santi Bebote Jiménez y en la portería el que no necesita apodo, Grimes.
Llévate uno de 9 vasos legendarios con el FIFA World Cup Meal. En McDonald's participantes solo por tiempo limitado, hasta agotar existencias.
Tomorrow morning is knocking. Stock your fridge now. How about a creamy mocha frappuccino drink? Or a sweet vanilla? Smooth caramel, maybe? Or a white chocolate mocha? Whichever you choose, delicious coffee awaits. Find Starbucks Frappuccino drinks wherever you buy your groceries.
Please don't listen to this podcast while operating heavy machinery because, you know, you couldn't hear the stories. This is the Box of Oddities.
What you got for me?
Mommy Catnip commented on a TikTok that I made. As a born and raised nutmegger, I just rely on autocorrect. In the TikTok, I had talked about how I could never remember how to spell Connecticut.
But yet everybody can spell Mississippi.
Well, there's a song.
Yeah, because of the song. There needs to be a song about how to spell Connecticut. C-U-N... No, that's not right.
Unrelated, but sort of. Speaking of C-U-N-T, I have been watching RuPaul's Drag Race since January of last year. Mm-hmm. I'm catching up. I'm now on season 10. Congratulations, me. It was not until season 9 that I realized that when Ru talked about how they base the queen's success on their charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent.
Okay. See you next Tuesday.
Season 9. I'm so embarrassed. Anyway, what was I saying?
I don't know, but every time you bring up RuPaul's Drag Race, you seem to lose focus.
So Mommy Catnip says, as a born and raised nutmegger, I just rely on autocorrect, or I just call it the nutmeg state. So even people from Connecticut don't know how to spell Connecticut.
Good.
But my takeaway from that was Connecticut is the nutmeg state?
That's your takeaway.
I had no idea. So I went to learn about the nutmeg state. Connecticut actually has 2 famous nicknames, and they couldn't be more different. One references the invent of modern democracy, and the other speaks to a counterfeit spice. Connecticut's official nickname is the Constitution State. That was adopted in 1959, and the nickname refers to the Fundamental Orders of Connecticut, a document adopted in 1639 by English settlers in the Connecticut River Valley. It established a framework for government and outlined how leaders would be elected and how laws would be made. And many historians describe it as the first written constitution created by a government with the consent of the governed in what would later become the United States. Because of that, Connecticut has long claimed to be the birthplace of constitutional government in America. Not everyone agrees with the whole first Constitution claim, though. Other colonies had governing documents of their own, and scholars continue to debate exactly how revolutionary the fundamental orders really were. But there's no question that they were early and very influential. But then there's the other nickname, the Nutmeg State. The traditional story says that Connecticut peddlers traveled through the colonies selling goods and developed a reputation for being so shrewd that some supposedly sold carved wooden nutmegs to unsuspecting customers. Yes, fake nutmeg. The problem is that historians haven't found much evidence that this actually was a thing. For one thing, a fake wooden nutmeg would have been pretty easy to spot, but only if you knew what nutmeg looked like.
I suppose that's true. So, yeah, okay. Like you said, counterfeit nutmeg. My eggnog tastes funny.
Why does it taste like elm?
Tastes like elm with a hint of hickory, which actually isn't bad.
Another theory suggests that the story got twisted over time, that in the 1700s and early 1800s, many Americans had never seen a whole nutmeg before. And nutmeg was usually grated, so buyers may have received a genuine whole nutmeg and tried unsuccessfully to utilize it, crack it open, and couldn't, and thought that they'd been cheated.
I see.
By one of them Connecticuters.
Them Connecticut peddlers. You got to keep an eye on them.
So in this version of the story, the Connecticut merchants weren't frauds. Their customers just weren't nutmeg savvy.
Who among us is?
Though in the 18th and 19th centuries, Connecticut merchants did develop a reputation for being very resourceful, very inventive, and exceptionally good at business. So depending on who was telling the story, that meant you were an entrepreneur, or people should keep a close eye on you while you're counting their change out, you know?
Sure, yeah.
So that kind of lends to the fake nutmeg thing. The nickname stuck because it captured both ideas at once. Obviously, this got me hooked. I was like, yes, tell me more about fake nutmeg. So every U.S. state has a nickname, but not every state has an official nickname. To make a nickname official, it has to be formally approved by the state's legislature. Take Delaware, for example. While it's long been known as the first state, that nickname didn't become official until 2002. A first-grade class had successfully petitioned lawmakers to make it so. One thing that jumped out at me immediately in reading about this was that there are several different types of state nicknames. And we're going to start with historical achievement nicknames. These are celebrating something that the state wants to be remembered for, like Connecticut's Constitution State, for instance. Colorado is known as the Centennial State. It became a state in 1876, exactly 100 years after the Declaration of Independence.
Oh, that's cool.
And the C on the Colorado flag cleverly works as both Colorado, the C, but also the Roman numeral for 100.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, that ties together in a very satisfying way.
Isn't it? Then there are nicknames that come from what people made or mined or grew or sold, economic factors.
Right.
Like North Carolina, the Tar Heel State. Pine forests produced tar and pitch and rosin and turpentine, and these were essential for waterproofing wooden ships, and the state became one of the world's leading suppliers of these things. But what's fascinating is that the nickname later picked up a military meaning as well. During the Civil War, North Carolina troops developed a reputation for stubbornly holding their positions, as though there were tar on their heels.
Ah, that is a fascinating little nugget. I've never heard that.
By the 1800s, Tar Heel became a real source of pride. Some nicknames seem to be an obvious reference, like Wisconsin, the Badger State. But This is not because of the animal itself. You would think it would be like, oh, yeah, Wisconsin, a bunch of badgers. They got the badgers, and so the badger state, whatever. But that's not what this nickname is about. This comes from the 1820s, lead miners. During the mining boom in southern Wisconsin, prospectors were too poor or too busy to build homes. So to survive the harsh winters, they burrowed into the hillsides and lived in their mines, earning the name badgers. Now, outsiders mocked them for this. I mean, they were like, oh, look at those badgers living in the side of this hill. But Wisconsin people, Wisconsinites, you might call them, maybe you do, I don't know, responded with a collective shrug and said, yeah, okay.
Good enough.
The state animal actually became the badger because it was such an entrenched idea in Wisconsin.
Bucky Badger.
I love that. Oklahoma, the Sooner State. Do you know where that comes from?
Yeah, wasn't it the Homesteading Act where people could go and get land just by claiming it?
That's exactly right.
And some of the people left sooner than others. So those were the Sooners.
That's right.
Okay.
During the land run of 1889, settlers were supposed to wait for the official start of the land run. You had to wait, but some did not. And the legal settlers were furious that these Sooners were taking over land, even though they'd kind of cheated. Over time, Oklahomans adopted it as a symbol of their initiative and determination. We're going to get that land.
Cool.
I love it. This is the thing about the state nicknames is they seem official. Sometimes they show up on license plates and flags and stuff, but only sometimes are they actually official, which I think is really fascinating. In many cases, they're just names that caught on through common use.
Like Maine, vacation land.
Is that an official nickname or no?
I don't think so. Isn't it the Pine Tree State? But vacation land is on all of the license plates.
That's right.
Little marketing.
I love it. And it is vacation land. For me, someone who was born in Maine, who loves it immensely. But I cannot handle that cold.
No.
I'm a delicate flower, baby. I'm a delicate flower. The nicknames often tell us a lot about how states wanted to be seen or ended up being seen whether they wanted to or not. Some celebrate natural resources. Some comment on history. Taken together, they are a snapshot of regional pride and marketing and history, and sometimes a little bit of folklore. If you've ever wondered why some states seem determined to remind you that they are the Peach State or the Sunshine State or the Granite State, a nickname isn't just what a state is called, it's what it wants to be known for. And I love that. And I ended up getting into state mottos. And then I was going through, because state mottos are really interesting. And so few of them are actually in English, which I think is fascinating. And so I pulled together a bunch of information about state mottos. And then I realized that my story was going to run about 8 minutes long.
Well, we don't need that.
So I opted to make state mottos a different story, but I will save it for a later time.
I wonder if Canadian provinces have like provincial titles. Like New Brunswick could be like, New Brunswick, fuck right off, eh? Something like that.
Do Canadian provinces have nicknames? Yes. So exciting. Okay. Alberta is known as the energy province. It produces most of Canada's crude oil and natural gas, as well as a large share of its coal. And the Wild Rose country is currently used on its license plate. So I don't know if they have official nicknames or if these are just multiple official nicknames. Alberta is also sometimes called Texas of the North. Oh, here's the official nickname of British Columbia, beautiful British Columbia.
Well, there you go.
It's pretty simple right there.
And accurate.
The Keystone Province, that's Manitoba. The Heartland Province is Ontario.
I think this is a whole other area for a whole other episode.
You sick of me just listing off province nicknames?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's fair enough. I love you. Please don't leave me. I got my information from Reader's Digest, from Wikipedia, obviously, I'm not an idiot, and from the Farmer's Almanac.
The Farmer's Almanac. TheBoxofOddities.com is the website. You can find most things Box of Oddities there.
That's also where you can message us if you've got something that you want us to talk about. Somebody earlier today sent us a link to a Vanity article about how Vanity is celebrating the cutest couple in America, and they were suggesting that we sign ourselves up for that. And I was like, I could not sign myself up for the best couple in America.
No.
If you feel strongly about it, you can, but I'm not going to.
And don't tell us if you do. We'll see you next time.
Until then, keep flying that freak flag.
Fly it proudly, you beautiful freak.
And so, let it be known that the Box of Oddities belongs to you, and its fate is in your hands. The Box of Oddities commits to the telling of stories of the strange, the bizarre, the unexpected. We wish to offer our deeply felt gratitude and appreciation for your patronage. TheBoxOfOddities.com. Copyright 2026, all rights reserved.
This episode is brought to you by Google Health. Stop chasing someone else's definition of health. What matters is what's healthy for you. Google Health offers a new kind of coach built with Gemini for effortless tracking, sleep insights, and holistic coaching tailored to you. Visit googlestore.com to learn more and start a new relationship with your health. Requires Google account, Google Health app, internet, and Google Health premium subscription. Features subject to change. Availability and results vary. Not intended for medical purposes. Works independently of Gemini apps. Check responses for accuracy.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment. Anyway, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.